third day.
So I know we have a bunch of people lined up for questions, but Michael, do you want to share your idea?
I had an idea before we got here, and I thought maybe if like everybody on the panel wanted to do it and everybody in the audience wanted to do it, we could just like take a nap for an hour. just dim the lights.
Just everybody
we
just collectively take a nap.
See how many blankets we can get. I'm tired. So we've got a couple people. If you just want to start passing out, that's fine.
we will.
The more that you do it, the more likely we'll be allowed to do it.
All right.
But if you're unaware, I don't think you are. This is the RWBY panel. Thank you for coming. I am Michael Jones. I play the voice of Sun Wukong.
I'm Shanon McCormack. I play the voice of Professor Ozpin.
And I'm Jen Brown, and I play the voice of Pira Nikos, as well as and Lisa Lavender.
Woo.
Woo.
Okay, and then I think we'll.
Yeah.
I think we're ready for
Yeah,
questions.
let's get these questions started.
Want to do it?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
What's you characters want to play for sports?
Oh, what sports would our characters play, if they were playing? So, because I've never met anyone who can accurately explain the rules, I think that Ozpin would be a cricket player. The game takes 7 days to play and is completely Byzantine and incomprehensible to the uninitiated, which is like 99.9% of the human race. So I'm going to say cricket.
This is a pretty good answer. I mean, track and fields for Pira seems like the pretty obvious answer. Because hurdles, because girl can jump, javelin, shot put, that arm on her. I mean, track and fields. She would definitely be track and field.
Trying to think of something Sun can use his tail for, like like baseball.
That would hurt,
You like
dude.
hold his mitt.
I could see someone playing basketball too. He could dunk with that tail.
Ooh,
He could
or
dunk. I don't know. If
gymnastics with that
I
tail.
mean, gymnastics would be good. Oh, he'd be great on the ring.
Yeah.
We just need one ring.
Ring.
He'd probably get a lot of points. I wonder at basketball if he could do like a Tigger type thing, and
Right,
like
just
bounce
off of his.
Yeah, he's just dribbling the ball.
Fun.
Yeah,
fun.
probably.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thing about Tiggers.
Oh, that's a fun question.
I'm the only one.
Yeah, clap for each other.
Yay! Yes.
Do it now before you fall asleep. This guy's got a blanket.
He's ready
he's
to
ready.
go.
He's even got a sleep mask.
Hi, how are you?
Just pop that up.
So this question's for Jen. So, in the Red versus Blue fandom, there's a lot of controversy over which team Carolina is on. So, in your opinion, is Carolina red team or blue team?
Blue team.
Oh,
Some ooze.
dissent
Some people are
from
pissed.
ooze.
Yes.
How dare you? I'm done.
Thank you,
Can't believe
Jen.
she said it.
Yes.
Prove it with a point. Thank you.
Shaking her head.
Friends like, nope.
Like,
Nope.
He's not happy at all.
Guess who's riding home alone?
I'm sorry.
I refuse to believe it.
Hi.
So, Michael Jones,
It's me.
how do you feel about breadsticks?
Oh my God, the breadsticks. I mean, I like breadsticks. I don't have this like war against breadsticks. I eat them all the time. It was a calm, casual, very low-key conversation I had with Miles about which is better.
Like 5 years ago, right?
5 years ago. There were children.
And you still argue about it.
There were
to this
children
day.
that weren't alive at the time, and they're like 4 now, and they're like, "What's a breadstick, Joe? Cheddar biscuits." And they don't know why. There's probably kids named breadsticks now. I prefer the cheddar biscuits over the Olive Garden breadsticks because I like cheese. I mean, it's pretty fair to say.
Yeah.
Breadsticks also good. Please. We don't have to, let's not turn this political, okay? Breadsticks and cheddar biscuits can get along. They can coexist in the world together, just not at the same restaurant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Not yet.
Not yet.
There are Taco Bell, Pizza Hut.
There's
or
talk of some
somebody.
bipartisan restaurants.
You never know.
You can have both.
I'm at the Taco Bell. I'm at the Pizza Hut. I'm at the combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut.
If you don't know that song, you should look it up.
Look it up.
Because it's hilarious.
So this is for all of you. Do you have any funny or interesting stories to share that happened to you in your career?
Ooh.
I got one. That's funny.
Okay.
I got a career.
Okay, I got one. Because people are like, name something that no one would ever guess had happened to you that has happened to no one else. So this is a good 22 years ago or whatever, and I happened to be I was living in Prague, and I was cast in the non-musical adaptation of Les Miserables that had Jeffrey Rush and Liam Neeson and Uma Thurman and those folks in it. And it's a scene that actually ended up getting cut from the film, but I'm playing this gendarme that's with Javert at the end of the film, and I chase Liam Neeson's character into the sewers of Paris at the end of the film, and we're like walking through like neck-high water in this tub, this giant cistern on set, and we wore wetsuits and everything. And at one point, and it was like the base camp was a long way away from the set, and at one point Liam Neeson was like, I really got to go to the bathroom. And I was like, yeah, me too. So we both collectively decided to just pee in our wetsuits. So my urine has mingled with Liam Neeson's urine.
Whoa.
Swarming around my body.
Whoa. Intense.
Hold on.
How have I
not heard this story?
I don't want to brag.
Who were you urinated on?
So that's definitely the weirdest thing that's ever happened in my career.
I mean, I feel like I've told most of my stories. They're usually animated.
Jordan.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You've heard this before. You're talking about urine. I mean, it was a different job. I punched poo. That's a whole story. I clogged a toilet working at a customer's house.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you punched your
Well,
own...
I was panicking. It was like a really like high class customer. And there was no plunger or anything, and I was like trying to flush it, and it was backing up, and I was like, I gotta do something about it.
God.
So like I
gag reflex is rising a little bit here.
I prepped the sink and had the hot water running, and I wrapped my hand in a bunch of toilet paper, like that would somehow protect it, and I was like, all right, flush, and then I washed my hands.
Oh my God.
I don't think it was Liam Neeson's though.
It wasn't Liam Neeson's apartment.
Not that I know of. So.
Hey,
if you have
Jen,
anything,
what bodily function have you
if
messed
you've got
up?
vomit or blood story, you ever drink someone's blood or something?
Oh my God. I don't think I can top either of those. The only bodily function story I have on set is I was working on a horror short a couple months ago where I played basically the villain, if you will, the monster. And it was the first day on set, first scene, and I had to be in a one-piece bathing suit, covered in prosthetics. I was carved up everywhere, bleeding, and I was sitting in a one-piece suit on a toilet in a bathroom stall. And it's a very sad scene. It's not supposed to be funny, and I'm supposed to be very upset. And they start rolling cameras, and I farted. I farted covered in blood in a bathing suit on a toilet with 30 people with cameras. staring at me.
Roll sound.
Roll sound. And here's what I will say. They were all very professional. No one said a single word about it. And then they sent me the rough cut. Being like, hey, if you have any, notes or whatever, we're gonna send you the rough cut. And I'm like, oh, I get to see the movie. And they used the shot with the toot. It's gonna come out eventually. It won't be in the final product, but I was like, oh, there it is. So I did have a bodily function story.
There you go.
That's a great question.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks.
Thank you.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, husband. Hi, Pira. I have a Wait, I said that wrong. I have a question for Pira. How did it feel when Cinder put the arrow in your chest? I'm sorry, I had to ask you that.
I've talked about this before.
Okay.
So I knew that it was going to happen from the minute I was cast.
Oh, sure.
It was the plan from moment one. They were like, we want you to play this character. Also, she's going to die.
Why?
Yeah. So I knew all along. And so I didn't really think I was going to feel anything emotionally or that I was going to have an opinion on it when it aired, just because I thought I'd had 3 years to get used to it. But I broke inside when it happened. Watching it, I started crying. And what I realized what it was for me personally was that's when the realization that I was done voicing her sunk in.
Really?
And I hadn't thought about that yet. Like the fact that, that's it. Like,
Damn.
I'm not going to do her again. I didn't know I was going to be on Chibi, mind you, but like, I that was it, and that emotion got to me. Like I wasn't expecting it, and I cried my eyes out.
Okay, the thing about this, Pira, I was crying too because I didn't expect Cinder. Like I saw this meme though, but I got so mad about it. It's like okay, you know the villains, right? Okay, so this is how it goes. I put the fun in the laugh. Wait, it goes like this. I put the fun in the laughter. I put the cute in the execute, and I put the arrow in Pira. And I said, this one comment said, "I hate you." Whoever planned that, I was like, yes, let's go beat up this person. I don't know what it was though, but
Yeah.
oh my god, that's my question. By
Thank
the way,
you.
Yeah,
not a problem.
Thank you so much.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good evening.
Nope, morning. Always morning.
Morning.
Always morning.
Late morning.
Yep. My question is, and I kind of sort of got an answer, when is the premiere for the next season?
Oh, I don't.
It's
I don't
next
know.
month. I'm
It's-
not
yeah,
sure the
it's-
date.
Month?
It's in October.
September?
No,
It's
October.
It's
it
September
just-
now, and it's not the morning.
And
Please,
I don't know
keep
if
with
it's
us.
early
I'm not
October
awake
or
yet.
late.
I haven't had enough coffee.
I think it's near the end of October. I'm not sure. It's like 27, 26.
I heard October 24th.
There's 27, 26. Can we get a 25th? Can we get a 24th?
Wait.
Can we get
It's
a
your-
25th?
It's on your wedding day.
Wait, is it October 27th?
Yeah, apparently.
Cancel the wedding. You have to watch
It's
it.
on my wedding day.
Nope, got to cancel the wedding.
You're welcome. Yeah,
I'm not on it anymore. Why would I watch it at my wedding? I'm not on it.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
Hey, how are you?
Hi.
When you were first casted, what about your characters made you least and most excited to play them?
Ooh, well, I was really excited to play just a really interesting character. I love the design of her and everything that they told me about her. I was just like, she just seems cool. She just seems really cool. I'm just excited about playing a really strong but yet vulnerable and layered character. And then I was bummed about finding out that I was going to die.
That's what I suspected.
Mainly because it's a very kind of standard trope to have the female character die so that the male character can have a story arc. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit, but they handled it so well. It looked so cool and it was so important for the show as a whole that I'm like, okay. Okay, fine.
I liked I like Sting. Sting, that's a different show. They're very similar. They're cousins. I like Sun. I like his just like cool, kind of like nonchalant, carefree personality. He doesn't really. I mean, getting into the series as the volumes go on, the show in general becomes a lot more serious or like focused on, as opposed to the first like 2 volumes, which you're really just like, there's misadventures of these crazy kids. In which Sun has just no cares at all about any of that really. But then with his whole storyline with Blake, obviously he's done a bit of growing up there, and also his abs. I mean, look at him. Like, he's a hottie. What I had to kind of come to terms with early on, I was like, so he's a nice guy, huh? That took some getting used to, but I feel like I faked it. I think I pulled it off. Max, on the other hand, oh boy, that was written for me. But honest, I don't think there was really anything I disliked about Sun. Just if there's one thing I dislike the most about Sun, it's that he doesn't get to hang out with Neptune enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, Carrie, love yourself. Write yourself into the show more. Where everyone goes, where is he? I don't know. I don't write it. Where is he? It's a great question. I'd love to do more with him.
I think for Ozpin, the thing that was the biggest positive or like the biggest honor was knowing that originally that was the role that Monty wrote for himself. And then he was like, oh, no, wait, I need a professional voice actor to do this role. I don't want to do this myself. And so I was like, oh, my God, that's what a cool feeling. As far as downsides or things that I don't there's nothing that I dislike about playing Ozpin or that I had to deal with. I do kind of feel the sting of the lack of Ozpin merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's my Ozpins. Yeah.
I can't get on a poster to save my life.
Where's my
Put me on a DVD cover.
Where's my f***ing action figure?
Yeah.
There's like this one, and there's this one.
Give me a goddamn doll. Like there's all these.
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's my Ozpin take. Now he's just a disembodied spirit. So he's like Jen's fart in a box. could be the merchandise.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How you guys going? With your guys' success in acting and voice acting, if you guys had a chance to work with a dream actor or actress, whether it's in film or voice acting, who would you like to work with and why?
I have to pick just one.
It's an impossible answer. Yeah.
But it had to be like a dream.
I would give literally anything to be on Steven Universe. It's my favorite show of all time. I would give anything. It is my single favorite thing ever created. I like a couple months ago, like every time, and I rewatch it a lot, and I'm like, yeah, no, this is it. This is my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing. Thought it was Supernatural? Nope. Thought it was Doctor Who? Nope. Steven Universe, hands down, best thing ever made. I would give anything. Yeah, anything to work on that show in any capacity. Yeah. So important.
There's probably like, it would for me be definitely a voice actor, and there's so many I can't even pick one to say for sure. And it's been really cool, the stuff I've gotten to do, both the people in Rooster Teeth shows and the stuff I've gotten to do at like Funimation outside of Rooster Teeth, that I've gotten to be in shows with some of those people that are here at this very convention, like we're 6 signings away from Chris Sabat, it's like I was watching him since I was a kid, like 10, and it's just like a million animes and everything. I'm watching My Hero Academia right now, like as a fan. I'm like, this show's awesome. Yeah, woo. It's you're allowed to enjoy it. It's okay. But like, I know half the cast of that show. It's so weird. Like, oh my God, like I know all these people. But one of them that's like near the top of my list, and I'm lucky enough to get to do a show with him, is Yuri Lowenthal, who plays Neil in Camp Camp. And like I remember meeting him like 5 years ago at a convention, and I was just like, oh my God, like that's Ben 10, like it's Ben 10, you know, like you Sasuke from Naruto. Like I was watching that on TV. He's been in like a million video games, and like I legit get excited whenever I get to do stuff with him. Every time I'm recording Camp, even though like we don't dub, you know, so we record before and then they animate to us. So it's very different from dubbing where, you know, you have the voices already in your head. But like even knowing like I'm recording my dialogue and I'm like yelling at Neil like, you're a piece of shit, Neil, you suck, go to hell, you piece of shit. And I'm like, that's Yuri Lowenthal. Like I'm yelling at him, you know? I'm excited as hell. Next week, Friday, Spider-Man comes out. He's friggin' Spider-Man and the PS4 Spider-Man. Like that game looks amazing, and it's just like that for me is one of like the coolest things that I still get to do.
So I'm a. This is weird because I like technically, if you look on IMDb, like we are in the same property, and that's DC Universe Online, where I play the Riddler and a bunch of different characters, and Mark Hamill does the Joker in that series. So like I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Yeah, thank you. All right, thanks, Deadpool.
You guys have heard of it?
Wait, is that a Deadpool Leah over there? Yeah, baby. Oh, and R2-D2. What the? That's like all the characters. It's like it's also the most Deadpool thing possible. It's like I'm 18 characters at once. So I would love. So like Jen said, I would love to work with Hamill, but you know with The Last Jedi happening, he's not going to be back. But so I don't know. I want there to be. I would love to do something in a Star Wars property at some point, but that would be a dream for me. I'm thinking like we go back, we see a little bit of earlier adventures of Admiral Holdo, and me and Laura Dern go on some space adventures. Huge Laura Dern
You
fan.
love Laura Dern so
I
much.
love Laura Dern, man.
Dern Rice.
She's goddamn best. Anyway, so that's my answer.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. and
Thanks.
Thank you for coming to Sacramento.
Oh, thanks for coming to see us.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello again, Shannon.
Hello.
Hello again, Jen.
Hello again.
Hello, Michael Senpai.
Hi.
Oh, I think I just broke a few people when I did that. I heard a couple of people
So,
forget.
Michael Senpai, if you had the opportunity to, would you do a D&D campaign with the main office? That's including not just the main six, but with Trevor, Fredo, and Lindsay.
I'm probably not. God, have you watched Heroes and Advocates Now? I can barely get through that. Like, Ryan is enough. That guy he's got problems. He gets a narrative in his head. He's like, this is what we're doing. You can't, like, D&D is very, as I'm told, this is the only experience I have as the show. It's like, anything's possible. Yeah, as long as Ryan agrees to it. God, that guy is like a stone wall. All right, don't kill the guy. I'm going to kill the guy. Don't kill the guy. He killed the guy. Well, great. What do you want me to do? I can't imagine a D&D campaign with Achievement Hunter. It would never get past one episode, and one episode would be 100 hours. It's like, have you seen Off Topic? Like, we can't talk about 3 things in 3.5 hours. And you're talking about D&D. Nothing would ever. The DM would kill himself, unfortunately. It's just what would happen. I don't know who the hell would sign up for that. It's all fun and games now until you're there.
Until you're actually there.
You think so? No, hard no.
Thank you. Also, my brother wanted me to tell you that you're beautiful, and
Thank
Shannon, I think
you.
you're beautiful too.
Oh,
and
thank
you're
you.
beautiful. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, jeez.
I got a question, and you might not be able to answer this, Tribunal.
We pronounce sentence.
Yes. I know in one of the episodes, Ozpin or his disembodied voice talks about briefly like some information that might shatter a few religions. What religions exist in Remnant? Because I can't find anything.
Oh, that's a great question. I have genuinely never, ever thought about that. Like ever.
A lot of people pray to Sun's abs. I really don't want to beat this horse into the ground, but I've seen it happen. If you notice in some of the backgrounds, there's just like flyers of like, what is that? It's just his abs.
The House of Swole.
Yeah.
You've heard of it?
The Church of Swole. Yeah.
Church of Swole.
No, I don't know. I haven't heard any.
Yeah,
of it.
no, that's a really good question. I don't know. That's neat.
That's a good question.
Yeah. By the way, unless your group would actively try to throttle GM, I can probably do it. Just about anything.
Oh, we would, for sure. Have you seen a G1 Hunter? They just ruin anything in front of them. Oh, that guy's happy?
me.
Yeah, that guy's happy. Not when we're done with him. That's.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm sorry. This is my first time asking a question.
Well, thank you
okay.
for asking us the question.
In your life?
No, like at a panel. So, like, for your character in RWBY, what was your favorite moment for you to act out for them?
I always say this because it was my favorite moment. So I guess it's okay to keep giving the same answer if it's genuinely your favorite moment. But I really love the speech with Jean on the roof at the dance. I just really, really love that. I loved recording that. I really identified with it. I don't know, it was just a nice piece of dialogue that like I could really act. Like sometimes you just get one little line here and there and it's like, oh, but when you get like, something you can sink your teeth into, you remember it. And I just really loved doing that. I thought it was a really nice moment for both of them.
I guess I have like two that immediately come to mind, and they're both kind of similar. In the end of Volume 1, I think it was like the first time Sun like fights really, and he's like fighting with Blake to like help Blake, and that was a cool like again going back to me like I've always been a big anime fan like DBZ like the action stuff like I'm punching a guy, get him, so him using the gunchucks was really cool, and I'm like look at him go, like that's me, that's my boy. And then it was Volume 4, I think. It was 4 or 5. It's all muddled in my brain. But when Sun and Blake fight the Leviathan on the boat, which was basically the same thing, but like I don't know, there was a clear like, been doing the character for a couple of years. They've progressed. They had a lot more of a reason on like a journey, and it was kind of like a much more over the top fight of them like just the visual of them like flying through the air, fighting it in air with like, even at that point, like their teamwork had progressed well enough where they really do well as like a duo fighting at the same time and kind of complement each other, besides whenever she's shooting me down at every opportunity she can get. I don't understand it. I think he's a keeper. But those two of those moments stand out to me.
I like recording all of the indulgent dad one-on-one moments of Ozpin and RWBY, or even Ozpin and Pyrrha in Volume 3, where he's like it's just him and one of the kids. I like those moments a lot, being a dad myself. And then the favorite thing I've probably recorded is actually not in the series proper, but the World of Remnant that gives the story of the maidens and the history and the lore behind the maidens a little bit. I really like that episode a lot of World of Remnant, and that was really fun to record.
Thank you.
Thank you. That
for
was a
the
great question.
Excellent first question. Hi.
So my question for you is, besides RWBY, what are some of your other, like, a couple of other characters that you've done that you really like playing as, or like voicing, or acting?
So my favorite character to do right now is Quartermaster in Camp, because like the recording sessions are just super fun. Like I just stay in character the whole time and try to make. It's usually Jordan who does the recording, and all I do is try to either make Jordan laugh or gross him out with what I say as a quartermaster. And maybe every once in a while something will actually get in the show, but it's usually about 6 to 7 times as much footage as actually is required for the show.
Quartermaster's great.
Thank you.
I feel like that's probably the case for most all of Camp Camp's
Camp Camp
recordings.
is just you
There's-
just go nuts.
There's like 7 episodes produced. Every one episode is recorded. That they
Basically,
will
that's-
never be anything. Like I kind of feel bad for him, but not enough to not do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, where it's like you do the line, and then whatever. There's a context thing to make an ad lib, and then I just do that for 5 minutes,
Right.
and it's like, okay, but can you please go back to what I wrote? And I'm like, I'm not done yet, you son of a. You're gonna hear what I have to say. God. And he's like, okay, great. And he's like, you sick. That's my favorite thing I was saying. Speaking of Quartermaster, like I probably curse at David the most, and then about Quartermaster.
Yeah,
Which,
exactly.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the f? Like,
Well,
it's like usually something you've said or done.
To be fair, Quartermaster does a lot of what the
Yeah.
It's a lot. I like
Although-
being able to be the voice of that show.
Although really, maybe my favorite voice is Quarter Sister. Yeah, I get
That was you?
Yeah, dude.
Know that? Oh, okay.
I get to make out with my own brother.
Oh my God!
Ew.
But Max is up there because I like all the characters I get to do. Sting is awesome. It's like again this like, oh my God, I'm gonna want this real Funimation show, and it's very like, okay, you know, got to do the beeps, and it's so produced, like it's unbelievable, the like professionalism, the editing, and everything. And then all the care and respect I give them, I don't give to Rooster Teeth, because I'm not afraid to be there. Fairy Tale is like, oh my God, like I better do a good job if I want more parts. But Rooster Teeth, I'm like, oh, they'll put me in something. What are they gonna do? Well, what's Jordan gonna complain? Shut up! Like I'm not gonna say that to somebody at Funimation, but. Camp is just like, it's a ridiculous show in itself, and I just love being Max. Like it's just so much fun.
Max is also great.
Thank you.
My answer is also going to be from Camp.
Yay! Like, it's not a cheap answer. Like it's an amazing show.
But it's not arid.
Oh.
It's not arid. It is a character that I have done maybe 2 lines for. Maybe. But I had so much fun doing them. And in the booth, I improv'd for probably about 5 minutes in character to Jordan, just rattling off. And that was Graham in season 2, the last episode with Parents' Day. I was the little grandmother.
Somebody just died.
Oh, I didn't know it was you. Oh. And I don't know if I can pull it up right now because it takes me a while to get into it, but
I just love doing the tiniest little grandma voices. And I also did one for,
we changed it entirely for, I did a voice for No Out of Nowhere. And Jordan was like, I want you to do your grandma that we did in Camp. And then I came in and I was like, I changed the voice. And he was like, yes, you did. We're doing that instead. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's like a completely different, weird grandma voice. So like, I've done 2 random one-line grandmas, and those are hands down my most favorite. It's like with the camp one, I think I just ended up like improvising for 5 minutes about how like, oh, just leave me here at the bus stop, dearie. I gotta be back at the nursing home by 5. You know, they got the chip beef on Wednesdays. I'm not sure how much I like that as much as I like the meatloaf. But you know, there's this one woman named Serena. Like, I just like went off for like 5 minutes, and Jordan was losing his mind. And I was just like, this is the most fun I've ever had in the booth, and none of this is gonna make it on the show.
I'm glad everyone does it to him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you. Oh,
You're
thank
great.
you. That was a great question.
Oh, so whenever you guys, if you guys ever feel down when you're doing your career, like, who do you draw inspiration from to keep you guys going?
Ooh, I personally always like to look at, there's this like meme that like floats around, and it kind of is just a list of famous people and when they got their first big break, and 90% of them is like after 35. And it's just a really nice reminder to be like, oh yeah, Samuel L. Jackson didn't get started until his 40s. Peter Dinklage didn't get his first big thing or didn't start acting till 35. So I always, like, things like that help remind me. Like, when I feel like I'm not where I want to be in my career, or I'm getting a lot of rejection, or I'm just not feeling happy with where I'm at, I kind of think of that and I remind myself, it's not too late. It's never too late. There's always going to be an opportunity down the road. And I try to hold on to that. That's what I try to do. And it doesn't always work. But, yeah, personally, that's what I try to do. And then also, like, just talk to your friends. You know, the people that you love and that support you, and they just help remind you, like, you're fine. It's cool.
I was gonna say, I follow Jen in that, like, oh, you got to think about, like, people who, like, get breaks late, or they, like, I feel like the stories on the cast of half of the women in Orange is the New Black, they were quitting acting the week that they got the call that they had gotten a part in the show or whatever. But the other thing I was gonna say is, when I'm feeling down, I just go and I usually chat with Jen on Facebook Messenger and just bitch about it.
Yeah.
And then
we have a lot of bitch sessions.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, okay, all right, we're both bitching and now we're done. Okay, cool, I feel better.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I was gonna say the exact same thing. I mean, I'm fortunate enough, basically, if I'm ever feeling like frustrated about something that I don't know, not really anything in particular, I can say this thing happened, but I mean, even getting to do what you love, even having, like, fun almost every day, like, you still get down sometimes. There's still something that happens that, like, negatively affects you. There's something that's, like, might bum you out. And even if everything's going great at work and this and that, like, you have family stuff that happens, and I find a lot of, like, music helps for me, and not even anything really in particular, just usually something that, like, kind of sets the mood of, like, how you're feeling. But the other thing I was going to say was, I'm lucky enough to have my wife, Lindsay, and it's just always good to have, I'm very fortunate to have somebody to talk to, and, it goes back and forth with the both of us, where, she might be feeling down about something one day, and she'll just come to me and talk about it, and almost never are we both like, woo, at the same time. So we kind of trade off on that.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of people that obviously deal with that kind of stuff. Like, even, I'm not saying, like, full-blown depression, but, like, people get bummed out, or maybe it's more than that. And a lot of people deal with that. That's, like, a super normal thing.
I do.
But
chronic anxiety, chronic depression.
It's
a struggle every day.
It's a struggle. People do that. And then I think even people that don't have that think, well, I'm not depressed, so that's not me. But
right.
You can be bummed out. You can be, in, like, a bad mood sometimes, and you don't really know why. And I think that's still pretty normal.
Yeah,
it's
totally
just
normal.
Not normal to talk about it.
Right.
People
Right.
think, like, well, nobody talks about it, so nobody else feels like this.
Right.
And I think just if you have anyone, a friend, a family member, someone online, just a community, a forum somewhere where you can just talk to people, that really helps a lot.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think, and also just like a side thing, like, one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten is, like, it's not fair to yourself to, like, because a lot of what can drive those kinds of things is if you start comparing your career to somebody else's. It's like, and even if it's like, oh, I'm going to remind myself so-and-so didn't get a break or whatever, everybody's on their own path. And if you start getting jealous of somebody else's success or whatever, you just got to, like...
It's a dangerous mindset.
It's a dangerous mindset.
It's really
because
dangerous.
You have to remember, somebody's probably comparing themselves to you, and
exactly.
they don't know all of the internal struggles that you might be going through. Everybody's on their own path. We kind of talked about this a little bit last night of, like, just weird, stupid jealousies. It's not a good, healthy habit to have of, like, savor your success. And also, if you're friends with people, the best thing is, instead of being envious or jealous, is, like, just be happy for them, Like, I'm happy that this guy's, like, doing as good as he's doing on Funimation. It's friggin' awesome, Yeah, absolutely.
I was telling Shannon last night that I hated him and I was jealous of him, so that was
really... and then we fought, and then we made up, and then we made out with each other.
God, please.
It was super hot.
Thank you. I mean, you guys are my kind of inspirations.
And thank you very much.
So much.
Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too. It was a great question.
I have a question for Jen. How did you feel about Avengers of Infinity War parodying your death?
I loved it. I loved it. Are you kidding me? I didn't even think of it when I saw the movie. I didn't make the connection, you know. I didn't. But then as soon as it came out, my Twitter feed was just flooded with memes, and I was like, I like that a lot. This is fun. Who doesn't want to be connected to the, Marvel universe? That's pretty hilarious. I think it's quite amusing.
I just realized.
And I also what I also like about it is I imagine what I find the most amusing is that I imagine some of those super famous people have seen that meme and gone,
What the f- is that?
and I love that. I love that there's famous people looking at my character being like, what the hell is going on? Who is this person?
So I just realized something because we got this question yesterday, but I just realized something that if Pyrrha's disappearance into dust is to the end of Infinity War, so you have to kind of take it back a couple of steps. Well, so who is the one who f***ed it all up to make it happen? Ozpin is Star-Lord. Ozpin is Star-Lord, dude. He's a great character.
Oh, that's good. It's really funny.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I know how you feel. Okay. I have a question for Ozpin. This is my question. I know Ruby eats junk food and everything else, though, but do you think she's ever going to eat a vegetable or try to be healthy?
Okay. Does Ozpin think that Ruby is ever going to eat a vegetable or try to be healthy?
Yes.
Was that my question?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like the dude's caloric intake a day is like 25, and now technically it's 0.
Oh, really?
So sure.
Maybe now with him like gone.
Well, let me just
she'll
think of.
eat
I mean,
some-
like, look. I mean, this is a thing that happens. It's not just RWBY. It's all shows.
Yeah.
It's every show. So just because RWBY hasn't eaten a vegetable on camera doesn't mean that she hasn't eaten a vegetable in the time that we watch.
Oh.
Just as the fact that we don't see them going to the bathroom doesn't mean that the characters in any property don't also go to the bathroom. You know, there's a toilet on the Millennium Falcon for a Wookiee. You know, it's got to be a Wookiee-sized toilet. You never see that.
Really? Oh,
You're the guy in the audience going, "Let me see it. Where is it?
Show me.
Show me the toilet."
Although there was like one episode of Star Wars Rebels that
Oh
was
my
like
God.
there's a toilet in it. There's
Oh,
like a,
yeah,
there's a
I know what
and
scene
it
you're
looks
talking
uncomfortable
about.
like most things in Star Wars. It's like that doesn't look like it would be fun to sit on. Anyway, thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Okay.
How many characters can we spot?
Oh, he's got
I'll
Boba in
lead
there.
up me
and
first.
Jar.
I got the obvious question, and I've got the more sophisticated question.
Okay.
Which one? One or two?
Can they be folded into one mega question?
Well, first question would have been, what is your favorite Star Wars character as it relates to your character in the show? And the second one is for Sun, as being an iconic figure of Sun Wukong of Chinese mythology that has inspired everything from Goku to different types of skins on video games. Will we ever see Sun ride some kind of cloud, either in a series or a funny fashion?
I'd love to. Yeah, and I feel like a fair amount of people don't know that. That like Sun is Sun Wukong from Chinese mythology, or even they know that like there's so many people that don't realize that's who Goku is based on, Son Goku from Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball. And I've seen, God, I don't know how many movies like that he's used as like, you know, the Chinese, the Monkey King is used as a reference or whatever. And he's got the staff. That's all part of the Chinese mythology. And I've always like loved that. It's such a cool thing to do. Like I remember even, you know, because Smite is a huge game that a lot of people play. And I remember even still, like every now and then someone will comment like, they just ripped off Sun from Smite. I'm like, they didn't make Sun Wukong. Smite didn't come up with him. That was, he's been around for like, it's like 2,000 years, you know? Like, they didn't invent that. But it's really cool. He's a really cool character. I really like, I think Sun embodies him pretty well. They like, with like the like, he's kind of like a trickster. Maybe not like so much as Loki, but like he screws around. He's very like, mischievous, you know, and I feel like he does a pretty good job of that. I would definitely like to ride on some kind of cloud. Give it to me, I'll fly on it. I feel like in RWBY it would be more complicated than that. I don't know how they would do it. It'd be like a skateboard that turns into a flying cloud or something,
It could be a hidden semblance, or they could just be flying on one of the planes, and he says, "I feel like I'm flying like a cloud."
You could do that. Cloud Airlines. You could probably take a couple of the semblance that Sun has, the like clone semblance, which is also again a Sun Wukong thing, like from mythology, and maybe just kind of like take. I mean, they're not really alive. Just smash them up, and then I could just ride on them.
Yeah, dude.
You know, I mean, they're not really people, so.
Have you seen New Adventures of Monkey on Netflix?
I've seen it's there. I haven't watched it.
It's a good kids live action show.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's like, you know.
Again, I saw it. I'm like, hey, I play that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's cool.
You are my favorite character. When you appeared on the show, you can ask my wife who's sitting there in the second row. I geeked out so much.
Thank you.
So you're a great example to carry on the legacy of Sun Wukong.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that means a lot. Thanks a lot.
And the Star Wars question's still up. If
No, the Star Wars question is Ozpin would be Obi-Wan Kenobi, whereas he's good. He gets killed, but he still comes back as a disembodied voice. He means well, but he's also kind of a liar and fucks some shit up and, you know, steers things down the wrong path. But he doesn't mean to, so he's definitely Obi-Wan. I love Obi-Wan. All right, 10 or 5? Was that 5? 10. Okay.
I think Sun thinks he's Han Solo, but he's not. Like that might. I don't think he thinks he's a suave, but he like Han Solo wouldn't be suave and then slip on a banana kind of deal that he was just eating. I don't know. He's probably between Han Solo and Jar Jar Binks, actually, which is a little unfortunate to think
We're gonna have company.
That's the part that's why you know why Blake doesn't date him. She's like this guy. Ugh.
I mean, I would want to say Leia, but it doesn't really quite.
Oh, dude, I know who you are.
Who?
You're Jyn Erso. Because you're dead. No, look, Jyn fights with a like that stick thing, and you know.
No, you're right.
She's like total hero, and then she sacrifices, and it's like, you know, she dies in the greater cause and all that jazz. I think Jyn Erso.
Thank you for your question, though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Leia Poole.
Hey.
Hi.
So, first off, I agree with you on Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Thank you. Thanks.
And
Team Biscuits.
how would I go about getting a job in Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter?
When they have job openings, they do tend to post them on a section of the website. And when people ask me this, I always say the same thing. Their postings are there. If you meet the qualifications and you feel like you are a right fit for one of those jobs, please feel free to apply. Just know that there is a lot of competition, and it is a very hard job to get, but they do make them public. I mean, they do. You know, I would say look through that, and if you find a job you find interesting and you notice that you're not qualified for it, maybe go get qualifications and try to find that job somewhere else, or, you know, find out what you want to do and figure out what you need to do in order to get it.
It's a difficult question to answer because a lot of times people say even being more specific about Achievement Hunter, but how do I get a job at Rooster Teeth? And that doesn't mean anything now. Like there's like 75 different departments. Like not exaggerating. I mean, like a job at Rooster Teeth is like, how do I get a job at Amazon? It's like, what does that mean though? Like you could be corporate, you could be working in like, stocking, delivery, accounting, HR. The Rooster Teeth is a big company. We have like around like 400 employees at this point. So there's whole teams like that people don't even know about, like sales teams. There's the team that plans events. They do RTX and every single event
They
that
just
we do.
hired a guy that I went to college with, and I just found out that he's been working in the office.
Right, and that's the thing too of like, it's there is certain steps you can take, but it's a lot more of a question of what do you want to do as a career. It's harder to say, how do I work at Rooster Teeth? Because anyone working there generally doesn't try to work at Rooster Teeth. You know what I mean? Like everyone that works in animation, well, they're animators, or they're modelers, or that's what they wanted to do, and where they ended up was at Rooster Teeth because that's where they were. Maybe that's where they had a connection. They knew someone. They saw an opening and applied for it. And Achievement Hunter is a similar thing where I don't think damn near anyone in Achievement Hunter has gotten hired the same way. Like Jeff started it and he kind of brought on Jack to help him out. I got found making YouTube videos. Ryan answered a Craigslist ad. Ray, it's true. That's how he got hired. Ray was making community videos for years, and to that extent, like more or less is how Jeremy, Matt, and Trevor ended up there. But mostly everyone in Achievement Hunter, like they didn't apply at Achievement Hunter. Alfredo, who was the newest person we hired, he just passed a year. He was working at Inside Gaming or IGN for years and years, and he's great friends with Tim Geddes and Greg Miller from Kind of Funny. And even before I met Alfredo, I knew of him, and everyone's like, when's that guy gonna work at Kind of Funny? When's that guy gonna work at Kind of Funny? And this, that, and whatever, he ended up at Achievement Hunter. And I don't think ever, like, in the 7 years Alfredo was working at IGN, he was thinking, I'm gonna work at Achievement Hunter one day. It's just like, opportunity came up and we were looking for a new person, and he had good recommendations where we knew people who knew him, and he had a good body of work, and we were like, we like everything that we can see. He fits in well with the group. He came in the office, and if you remember, he guested on a bunch of videos. We basically tested him out in the office maybe 3 or 4 times before we hired him, because it's now more difficult than ever, I'd say, to work at Achievement Hunter, because you're getting dropped into this group, this like entire cohesive cast that it's like you can't just come in and say, well, I'll be me. You need to fit in with everyone else there and know that like when people aren't used to having 6 people in a video at once. Like we're bad enough at it and we're good at it, So like having someone come in with no experience or that just says, well, I want to do that, it's very difficult. So like specifically for Achievement Hunter or something like content creation, the best advice I can give, and it's still based entirely on luck, is make what you want to do. Try and have some level of experience, even for yourself, and for something that people can see. Because I was even told when I got hired, like, yeah, we saw this really funny Crackdown video, but if that was the only video we saw, we wouldn't have hired you. We weren't going to say, hey, that guy made a funny video, let's hire him. They saw a funny video, and they went to my YouTube channel where I had 2 years of content that I made for no reason than just because I liked doing it. Nobody watched it. I had my friends watch it. That was it. And I got lucky and people started seeing that. So that I feel like is the best advice I can give. If that's what you want to do, start doing it, start making your own, and try to find a way to incorporate that in general, whether it's at Rooster Teeth or anywhere else. And good luck.
Thank you.
This is a lot of people. Thanks.
We probably have time for one, maybe
one more
2
question.
more. One more.
Too tall for this.
There you go.
Hey, all right, buddy.
Hold it.
So, real quick, I would just like to say Pyrrha will forever live on in our hearts. Ozpin's an immortal badass, and some will forever be like by Jira. And,
wow.
So the question is for all 3 of you. Aside from the characters you play in RWBY, what would you consider as your favorite characters in the series so far? And Ozpin cannot say Oscar because that would be cheating.
No, it is cheating, and it's not my favorite character.
No, I know what his favorite
I'm
character
going to say
is.
this because everybody else is going to steal it. Nora.
No,
Nora.
it's all over. We're all Nora.
We all love Nora.
We're all Nora. We love Nora. Nora.
No,
Nora.
it's 100%. It's
Nora is the best character on this show.
Yeah, she's just delightful.
Yeah.
She really she's amazing. Sam does an amazing job.
Sam's so
playing Nora. I just love everything. Yeah, just kills it. She just kills it.
Yeah, she kills it. She's the best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, best camp character, Space Kid, and not because it's Lindsay. It's just Space Kid.
It is just Space
Max
Kid.
hates his guts, and I love it so much.
I love Space Kid too.
Cool. Thank you guys so much.
I
We
think
probably
that's
could have
it.
taken another question.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for coming to SacAnime.
We hope you had a great con. I think there's nothing else happening except for the floor. I don't
the
know.
floor is still open for a bit, but
For
that's
a
pretty
bit.
much the end of panels. Thank you for coming. We had a great time being here, guys.
We really
Thanks
appreciate
for having
it.
us.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Safe trips home.